What are network topologies? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, a topology is the layout of how a network communicates with different devices. And there are a couple of different categories of topologies. There's wired and wireless. So we're first going to talk about the most common wired topologies. And the most common wired topology that's used is the star topology. Now, in a star topology, all computers are connected to a central wiring point, such as a hub or a switch. All data on a star network passes through this central point before continuing to its destination. Now, one of the major benefits of this topology is that if one computer failed or if there was a break in the cable, the other computers would not be affected because each computer has their own cable connection. However, a disadvantage of the star topology is that if the central hub or switch fails, then all the computers on that central point would be affected. And this is called a single point of failure. If this happens, the entire network goes down. Another type of topology is called ring. The ring topology is a type of network configuration where each computer is connected to each other in the shape of a closed loop or ring. So every computer on this ring has exactly two neighbors for communication purposes. Each data packet is sent around the ring until it reaches its final destination. Now, this kind of topology is very old and is rarely used today. Now, the advantage of a ring topology is that they are easy to install and easy to troubleshoot. However, the disadvantage would be that if just one of these computers goes down, or if there was a single break in the cable, then all data flow would be disrupted. And the next one is the bus topology. The bus topology is very old technology and, like the ring topology, it's not used today that much. This is the kind of network setup where each of the computers and network devices are connected to a single cable or backbone. And this backbone is a coaxial cable. The computers connect to this cable using special connectors called BNC, which are also known as T connectors. One of the advantages of the bus topology is that it is also fairly cheap and easy to implement. However, a disadvantage of the bus topology is that it requires that the cable be terminated at both ends using terminators. In order for this setup to remain operational, there must not be any open connections, including the ends that attach to the computers. So if a computer is removed or if the terminators are loose or missing, then the cable would be open and then data would bounce back. And this bounce is known as signal reflection. And if this happens, data flow would be disrupted. And there is also the mesh topology. Now, in a mesh topology, each computer on the network is connected to every other computer on the network. So by having so many connections, it handles failure very well. In this illustration, there are 4 computers with 3 connections on each computer, which makes a total of 12 connections for this network. Now, the advantage of a mesh topology is that it creates a high redundancy level, because if one or more connections fail, the computers would still be able to communicate with each other. However, because of the amount of cabling and network cards that have to be used, mesh topologies can be expensive, so they are rarely used on local area networks or LANs. They are mainly used on wide area networks like the Internet. In fact, the Internet is a good example of a mesh topology, because the Internet is made up of numerous routers all over the world that are connected to each other to route data to their intended destination. So even if a few routers go down, the data will get rerouted using a different path to ultimately reach their destination. So the Internet is very redundant because it's using a mesh topology.